let's bust that myth. How do you get a six-pack? Is it from doing a million crunches every day after your workout?
No, that's just gonna make your abs sore when you get out of bed in the morning. Abs are built in the kitchen. That is 100% the truth. I hope you've heard it. The myth has started to be busted over the last years, but you might still think that the way to do it is to wake up every morning, do 100 crunches, and you're absolutely wrong.
All that's doing is burning calories, and burning calories is great, but you have to control how many calories go into your body as well. And the balance of those calories is going to determine whether your body's burning them or storing them as fat.
Also, I don't know how many actual calories you can burn during crunches. Like, it's not a movement I would pick to burn calories if that's your goal.
Yeah, that's
It's also
true.
not gonna make your six-pack look any better. So again, if it somehow makes you more functional, then sure. I get it for sports like jiu-jitsu makes sense because you gotta crunch up to attack from the back. That makes sense to me. If you're old and you do have issues getting out of bed, maybe some crunches could help you as well. But if we're talking about what you see in the mirror, it's definitely what you put in your mouth that matters the most.
For sure. So figuring out how many calories your body needs, we use an in-body scanner here to tell you exactly what your basal metabolic rate is. So we have a baseline for how many calories you need to eat in a day. And then on top of that goes your activity level, depending on how busy you are, how many workouts you're hitting a week, right?
Yep.
That's point number one. Then you've got to figure out the balance of your macros, because if you're just eating a lot of carbs, if you're following more of like a high carb diet, then your body might not be able to tap into that stored fat as fuel. So having a balanced diet to make sure that your body is burning fat as fuel in between your meals is really important.
Yeah, exactly. To have a six-pack, you want to be lifting weights. You want to be making sure that you have as much muscle as possible, because then your metabolic rate's going to be a lot higher. So in order to do that, you need to eat enough protein. Eating enough protein then also boosts your metabolism because it takes more energy just to digest it. Makes you less hungry the rest of the day, so you won't eat as much carbs as you think you need. And then if you're in a bit of a caloric deficit with enough protein and good workouts, good hard workouts, then the fat starts to go away and the abs start to show.
I want to say, yeah, so lifting heavy weights is super important because that's what builds the abs, right? So like if you want those like thick, sticky outy Ninja Turtle abs, right? That's when doing like a lot of really heavy lifting and heavy loading. But there's also a genetic component too, because I've been super lean and I had zero abs, and you always have super abs.
Yes, I've been as low as 3% body fat with zero crunches and lots of abs.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, the crunches don't do anything.
You think our kids are going to have my abs or your abs?
Malk already has abs, so I think probably mine. Men and women are totally different as far as body fat percentage and when you see your abs. Men typically under 9%, you'll see your abs, depending genetically too. Some guys can hold a higher body fat percentage because they carry a lot of their fat in their lower body and still have abs. But if I'm going generally 9% or lower, you'll see abs. Anything lower than that is just like, you know, how veiny you want to be when you see the abs, or how psychotic you are mentally to get to that point. For ladies,
the female equivalent of 9% on a guy is like 13% on a woman, and that's like hard. That's hard to get to. Yeah,
and it's harder on female bodies because they're naturally meant to hold more fat because you're supposed to make babies.
Yeah, we get a lot of women down to 18% body fat in the 8-week challenge. That's a great place to be. You look good, you feel good, but yeah.
Which is like a guy being 12%, which is healthy. Like a healthy percentage, you can perform well, you look good. Again, everybody's always chasing what they don't have and, you know, looking for your 8-pack or whatever.
Well, how much too of it is it like Instagram versus reality, you know, like the before and after pics? Because like I remember, you know, like you could fake those if you just like stuck your belly out and then flexed. You could pretend that.
A lot of it is. And on Instagram, you don't know who's on drugs and not on drugs.
Yeah.
There's a whole different
posing, right? Like, yeah. You can absolutely have visible abs that are weak because
I used to beat up guys who like look really good with their shirts off, but they're just so weak.
And that's why you got to lift heavy to get those thick, strong abs, like we talked about, working the whole core, the whole trunk system.
And that's why I think it's important to get your abs from lifting weights and not from like running millions of miles and dieting super hard.
Yeah, then you're like just, skinny fat.
Or skinny.
Just skinny.
Six pack.
Yeah.
Like my son, when he tells me, look at my abs, I said, those are ribs, bro.
Your core is always going to be the weakest link. It's always going to be the weakest link for whatever you want to lift. If you want to lift heavy, if you want to put a heavy bar on your back and your legs are strong, but your core is not, so say you can leg press 1,000 pounds, but if you can't put 100 pounds on your back and squat with it, it's because of your core being the weak link. Same thing picking up a deadlift, right? You're using your legs to pick up the weight for a deadlift, but your core has to hold and brace and support all that.
What do people hurt when they deadlift?
Their backs.
They hurt their back because their core is weak, or they lifted more than they should have, but it's their core that goes. It's never like, oh, I was doing deadlifts and I hurt my quad. Like, no, you hurt your back because your core wasn't strong enough to handle the weight that was being lifted.
Yeah, my favorite way to train core is overhead squat. So you've got to load up overhead. As long as you have the mobility in your shoulders and your hips to be able to get down low, then your core should be the weakest link in terms of being able to load that weight and build that, build that, build that.
I finish every workout with core.
We want to use our core every day.
And I just change the style, whether it's dynamic, static, rotation, anti-rotation. I just kind of funnel through, and then it depends on your goals. Like, if you're an athlete, we do a lot of rotational work, anti-rotation work, because we're trying to keep you healthy for sport, and it's very specific to sport. Most athletes who are playing sport are rotating a lot, whether it's baseball, hockey, whatever it is. So you have to be strong in the movements that you do to make sure that you get the most out of it.
In CrossFit, we're lifting weights every day, so you've got to use your core when you're lifting these weights. And we do a lot of gymnastics or body weight exercises, and all body weight exercises should use your core as well. Pull-ups, you're using your core. Push-ups, you should especially also be using your core. And so we find ways to make sure that our clients are engaging their core properly in all of these exercises so that, they're getting it worked every day so that they don't feel like, oh, I got to go finish off my workout with 100 crunches.
And then we specifically add in accessory core work to
hollow holds, leg raises, planks, side planks. Yeah,
it's all good core stuff. Again, you can do hollow holds till you're blue in the face. Not going to give you a six-pack.
That's true.
It's built in the kitchen. So making sure your diet's on point is the number one thing you can do to show your abs and make the most out of your training. I don't know what it's like, but I don't think there's a worse thing than when you tell somebody, like, I go to the gym 6 days a week, and they look at you like, really? So get your diet right, and all the results that you want to see in the mirror are going to come from that.
Yeah, and then you can have fun with your training. You can do the exercises that you want to do, and not just spend time worrying about what you want to look good.
Hundreds of crunches a day. Did you know that Mike Tyson broke his back from doing? I think he was doing over 1,000 crunches a day during a training camp. And you ever see that? We should insert viral clip when he's like,
spinal.
I broke my back. Spinal, and that was from crunches.
Yeah, I believe it. Because what was he doing to train his back? What was he doing to train his back to balance it out? That's why you've got to have that full balanced. Yeah.
Everything is progressive overload, which means that if we did a 60-second plank one week, then we do a 65-second plank the second week, and then we're progressing and making you stronger over time. That could be a 15-second plank to start, and then over months it becomes a 3-minute plank.
Yeah.
But it just takes, give it a month, then make sure you're progressing, and then every month after that, it just gets better and better.
And just, consistency, making sure that you're hitting that exercise every week. Every week, add a couple reps or add a couple seconds.
Same goes with your diet, consistency. You can't eat good one day and then eat bad 3 days in a row and then eat good again and expect things to happen.
And then wonder where your abs went.
Yeah, exactly. If you're bloated, and then you need to understand why and what foods are triggering that. If you're eating crappy food, then you understand why. It's just your system does not like it. If you're eating good food and it's bloating you, then you have some type of intolerance, and you need to figure that out.
Step one, we always say cut out sugar. Easier said than done, but cut out sugar. See if your bloating goes away.
Yeah.
Cut out
typically
gluten,
does.
cut out dairy, and then like beyond that could be like a lot of people are sensitive to onions and garlic, that sort of thing. But there's lots of different ways that you can get tested for different intolerances and work through an elimination diet. We've done that with lots of our clients, and we have like professionals that we can refer you to. But yeah, start those. To me, those are the most simple things.
Sugar
You don't need supplements. You don't need fancy this and that. Cut out sugar, and then try a couple of other things as well. Keep a food journal so that you know what you're actually eating, and make it not junk.
Yeah, and cut out anything with crazy ingredient lists. That's the next one.
Thickeners, stabilizers, like all that stuff. It's just junk. Just eat real whole foods for 30 days and see your bloating go away. Just watch it go. Yeah. For sure him. Me? I don't know.
How long's your longest plank ever?
I've never tried. I don't plank.
I did 10 minutes one time.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I do CrossFit. I don't have the attention span for a 10-minute plank.
I did 10 minutes because somebody else in the gym had done like 9:50, and that was my only motivation to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. One day we'll have a plank.
That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget it, and you'll never forget it either, because I'll keep reminding. If you want abs, built in the kitchen. If you like this content, we need you to like and subscribe. Otherwise, we can't keep doing it. Actually, we probably still will. But like and subscribe. We need
if you want abs, like and subscribe.
Yeah, if you want abs, leave us a comment. How many abs do you want?